Right, we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the third match of the women's quarterfinals. Fiji versus France. There is a spot up against New Zealand on the line for one of these two sides. Fijiana, they have been a sensational team over the last 2 years. We saw them get bronze at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, although their opposition here, France, they got themselves the silver at the Tokyo 2020 games. Looking through at the starting lineups, it is going to be Noel, also Neeson, Chloe Pell, Greses, hopefully I've said that correctly, Okemba, Yulatule, and also Gracino in the starting lineup for France. Then for Fiji, it is Boleki, Devaya, Nagasao, also Lunisao, Donu, Naimasi, and then Viniana Riwai. She was everywhere in the first match that we saw for Fijiana. The crowd at Cape Town have been absolutely loving this event. Everyone is well and truly having a brilliant time, which is absolutely sensational. To see that man is being held up by a miniature man who is on his pants. That won't make any sense, but pretty much it's one of those ones that look like someone holding you up. I will just move on from that. But now looking through, a few people have got themselves their South African umbrellas. Some rain has fallen in the last little while in Cape Town, which does mean it will be a bit wetter than they would have been anticipating. Hopefully there's not too much slipping and sliding. We did see in the last game quite a few players losing their footing, handling errors, which is going to be so important in this match to get that right, because we did see Fiji a lot of the times when they get those offloads going, it's hard to stop them. And that is something that France will soon find out. France probably have a little bit more of that structured play, which is why they need to try and keep their composure, even when Fiji are throwing absolutely everything at them. And also we have got there Fiji, says Donna, and also let's go Fijiana, says Nathan. And did you see Cowboy USA yesterday? I did see that USA Cowboy, man. He was very disappointed when the USA lost, that is for sure. But this is for a spot in the semi-finals. The loser of this game still gets another contest, though. They will be going head-to-head with the side that New Zealand were able to beat, which was Ireland, and the Mad Nan in there. Says Richard, but I'd say for the French, Kemba, we didn't really see too much of in that first game. So I would say probably Yula Tule and Chloe Pell are the two players I would say to watch out for in this French lineup. Then for Fiji, it's got to be Nangasao and also Alunisao. I'll go with those two, even though there are plenty of other options. Naimasi had a brilliant first game. Tosaveti, says Ravin there. Then off the bench, it is Yengo, Ian Jason, then Christians, Reset, and Dizeo for France. Then for Fiji, Tanai, Nkothi, Kavuru, Solokoviti, and Ditavutu is the last name in this Fijian lineup. But the gates are open. The two sides run out in a Cape Town nighttime game. 9 p.m. at the moment, local time, or just after. The last match of the day is going to be taking place at 10:30 p.m. local time. But France in their first game, they were able to beat the South Africa women's side, the hosts, 29 points to 0, whereas for Fiji, in their opening fixture, they were able to beat Japan 36 points to 7. And in that game, you could see a massive difference between the two sides and the strength that Fiji had compared to the Japanese. They'll want to use that in this game, definitely with Boleki in that starting lineup. It's very hard to put down on the ground. And also off the bench, looking at Solokofiti with that little bit of extra size. Ben Breakspear in charge of this one. The Welsh referee. We've seen 6 tries from Fiji, 5 from the French. And what is your prediction for this game, Hamish? I think it's going to be a close one. Depending on what Fiji inside we see turn up, they could win this. But theoretically, France, for me, probably come in as favourites, even though Fiji have got such great talent. And I'd say that maybe with that offloading game, it may end up costing them a little bit with the handling, but I think it's going to be close either way. Nicely taken by Okemba just outside of the 22. Gracino goes across. It's going to be a handling error for Noel. Now, I mentioned about how slippery it is out there, and it looks like already we're going to see a couple little bits of slipping and sliding. Now, Greses does nicely keep that one in the field of play. 5 meters out from their own line here. France with the wide cut-out pass. It sits up for Fiji, but she loses her footing 5 meters out, keeps the ball alive, gives it off to Baleki. And now swarming in the breakdown, France were, but it's going to be the penalty to Fiji 5 meters out from the line. Looks like De Vea might get this one going early. He takes the tap, fires it across. Now with the step from Lunisau, shut down in the midfield. Wide cut out pass here for Fiji. Trying to use every lady in that back line. Lunisau, in fact, it was Nagasau there. And also Fiji pays $1.92 to win here, says Robert. So what are France paying? It must be relatively close as well, maybe about $1.80 or so for France to be able to get themselves a win. So pretty much all that tells us is this game could go either way easily. And I don't think the Box have it in them with the tactics to score above 40, says the Lawrence. And also Springboks versus Argentina 42-23, says Yako, for that prediction of the Rugby Championship that is going to be taking place next Sunday. Actually, this exact time, that's when the kickoff of that game is going to be. 24 hours times 7, put it perfectly to the hour. And then we're going to get to see the 5th round of the Rugby Championship. Okemba, nice pass now. Trying to keep it alive. Ulatule goes on the outside, close to the touchline, just wrestled down by Naimasi. Now back across. The Fijians keeping this one relatively tight in the defensive line. Chloe Pell finds the offload, though, for France. We did see 14 offloads in that first match for Fiji compared to 8 of France, which even 8 for the French is relatively high. That's going to be the penalty. Sealing off from Grassano. Taking the quick tap now. It's going to be Nalgusa. It's just a little bit wonky. In fact, it was Nagasau, sorry. Did have that one now. Beautiful run. Naimasi breaks through. And Fiji will get the first try of the match. Brian Habana has come back. Springboks, or must come back. Springboks play. There's Yako Robertson and also Anna Marie Naimasi. 4th try of the Rugby World Cup Sevens. Although the thing with Brian Habana is it's all well and good having him out on the wing. But if you don't have the players to be able to get it out to him on the wing, he'll be wasted. Similar to what we've seen for Makazole Mapimpi at times. If they don't get their ball out to him and instead kick the ball away, he doesn't get to touch the ball that often at all. And also, well, you be my friend, says Ayako. And then also Tosaveti says Miri Samani. Hopefully I said that correctly. But everyone on the channel, of course, is a friend of the Kiwi lads. That is going to be Naimasi's 4th try. Like I mentioned, she is now sitting 3rd in the overall try scorers list for the Sevens World Cup. That one has just gone the 10. Nicely taken by Grassano, slung to the ground by the Fijian defense. They are strong, these Fijian women. Now, Noel, nice run forward, decides against going for the pass on the outside, and it has cost them position. Now will be Nagasau once again with the ball. Lunisau trying to go through, not able to do so, has to kick it back instead it was now back in the hands of Nagasau. She's been busy throughout the early stages of the game. The ball is scrappy and it's just falling all over the place. Now back across. It's going to be in the hands of the Fijians. I think the touch judge was trying to call for a knock on. Yes, he was. Just a knock on. He's going to have a chat. And it's so cool. We have women playing too, says Kevin there. And also we have got the other French flags. And also France show us some promise, but never win big when it matters, says Richard. Okay. So the touch judge here is actually called over the ref. We're going to reset. You want to restart with the scrum, yeah? Was the comment from the Welsh referee. So it's going to be a little knock on from France. Fiji will have the scrum feed and another opportunity to try and attack before the end of this first half. Still 3 minutes left on the clock. Plenty of time for this first. And then they have still got 7 minutes after that. And both sides will want to keep their composure. I hope it's not this week, tomorrow, though, because the rain has certainly shown that the handling is going to be a lot worse. And I don't want to see finals riddled with handling errors. I feel like it would be best to see free flowing rugby. Great scrum still there from France. And they have now got themselves the penalty. It's going to be Grassano once again, looks to the short side. Unable to get through. Lunisau considers going for the breakdown turnover, decides against it in the end. Now back across. It is going to be in the hands of the French number 6 to build up some steam now. It is Grisez. Now it's gone, kicked into touch. Fiji will have themselves the line out. And also, if I'm right, France and New Zealand open the World Cup. They certainly do. It's a massive game to have as an opener. I wish we got some rain, or we got some of that rain been so hot, says Gareth. But yeah, I hope that it doesn't seem like it's going to dry out completely maybe by tomorrow, but a little bit lighter will be nice. If you just want to like pull the rain clouds to wherever you are, Gareth, just for a little bit. You can return them to Cape Town after the World Cup, but before then, oh, that was a shocking throw, but it's worked out other than the fact that they did drop the ball. Now that's going to be a knock on and it becomes a penalty, double blow of the whistle. And unfortunately for Fiji, because it's a deliberate knock on, it is going to be a lady going to the bin this time. It was number 8, Anna Marie, hang on. No, they're saying it's Viniana Riwai who is going to be going to the bin, and it'll be a humdinger, says Lawrence. And also, come on, refs. Someone hit that, refs, says Nathan. Now, we've already seen that today. That's going to be another penalty against Fiji. They're going to get penalised out of this game. They need to make sure that they don't allow this momentum to shift too much while they are down to only 6 women on the field. Another quick tap taken by Neeson. Goes across, looking wide. Maybe they give it to Okemba instead. Going to hold it in their midfield for a little bit longer. Offload it now to Uletule, the captain. Grassano cleans up. Gives it off to Chloe Pell, who just slings it wide. Missed opportunity on the outside. Unfortunately, just not quite able to hold that ball from Noel. And Chloe Pell is not too happy at all with that one. Unfortunately, the water on the field is slightly ruining it. Everyone's just dropping the ball, which is a sad sight to see because both of these sides normally very slick with their offloading game, with their passing. No one can get a good grip on that ball. We've seen 6 handling errors from France throughout the early stages of this match. Wasn't straight from Fiji. Another penalty. Lorraine is coming to us tomorrow, says Gareth. Okay, Lunisel. She was giving the referee daggers there. She was looking at him like, what did you say about my line out? You calling it not straight? We might see another referee go into the blood bin soon if Lunisel does get her way. Grassano. Oh, no. Everyone's gone up. It's an early foul against Fiji. It's going to be the halftime siren, but they've got one last attack. Still 18 seconds left of the Riwai yellow card. One more pass from Chloe Pell. Now Uletule tries to go through, finds Grassano, who looks like she's got just enough. No, she doesn't. She's been taken down. Brilliant tackle made by Naimasi. Now around the side for France. They need to finish this one, but they haven't been able to do so. Still 5 meters out. Fiji going for a counter ruck. Doesn't work out for him. Grassano pins her ears back. She reaches out. And it will be the try for France right at the end of the first half. And also, where are you tomorrow, Gareth? Says Lawrence in Durban. And also, World Cup 15s, Women's 2025 in England, Men's 2027 in Australia, Women's 2029 in Australia, Men's 2031 in America, Women's 2033 in America. Says Richard. I feel like that was a mouthful, but I think I handled it pretty well. And also the try for France. Says Nathan, a nice try from Grassano. Reaches out, scores the try. It's exactly what they would have wanted. And also, we got this solid game, girls. And come on, Fiji, you can do it. I'm in Bethel. Says Lawrence, half-time has been upon us now. 7-7. Very hard game to split between these two sides. I should mention the next game that we are covering on the channel. It is going to be Fiji versus Samoa. Massive match in the men's side of things. That game is going to be kicking off at 7:35. We will be starting at 7:30 to break down everything to do with that game. And yeah, it's going to be epic. See who does manage to get themselves that win. Whoever wins it goes on to face up against Australia in the men's semi-final. For this game, though, whoever wins this will be going on to face New Zealand. The other side of the draw, Australia have made their way through, and we are waiting to find out whether it will be USA or Canada who do find themselves head-to-head with the Australians. But the French coach looks very locked in at the moment. Having instructions. It looked like he was only giving instructions to one player, though. In the huddle, he directly had eye contact with one individual. I assume that is their captain, Uletule, but would have thought he'd be talking to the whole team rather than just the one. And also never been to Bethel. Actually, I must have been hot during the last couple of days for you guys, says Gareth there. Now, at halftime in this contest, 7-7. It's Going to be relatively close by the finish of this game by the looks of it. If both of these sides do stay as even as they currently are, and if they are unsplit by points at the end, they'd go to golden point, which will then decide the one who's going through to the semi-final. And so, Hamish, you are 10 hours ahead of us. We certainly are, I believe. Or actually, we are 14 hours ahead, I believe, because it's currently 7:12 a.m. New Zealand. Oh, no, sorry. No, you're right. 10 hours ahead. Got it around the wrong way. I know the USA were about 16 hours ahead, I think it is. Going to be epic game between Fiji and Samoa. And come on, Fijian. Here's Hone there. Now, France have got themselves another penalty. And they take the quick tap. Only a few meters out, breaking through. Ula Tule, that coach's talk must have worked. Oh, she was relatively close to the dead ball area, but she has been able to get in. And France have now taken themselves the lead. And this match, Jade Ula Tule does score it. Great body position from Chloe Pell, locking over the ball. Winters are really cold here, but summer is nice, says Lawrence. Ula Tule gets through to the defensive line. And in the end, just not quite able to stop her there was Donu. And for all the games this weekend, only one extra time game. So will this be number 2? Wait, have we only had one extra time game? I think we've had Chile versus Scotland and Germany versus Chile. Chile are very good at going to extra time by the looks of it. I want to say that those are the only 2 games, though. So yeah, it could be the lucky number 3, perhaps, for this matchup. Now, it's going to be just, did it travel the 10 meters? I've said it has, and now it will be a line out in favor of Fiji. France got that kick out slightly wrong. France want the ball. She's going, is it our ball? It is not. They do have the option of the scrum or the line out due to the fact that it was the knock on. I believe they will go for the scrum. It's the safer option out of the 2. Although saying that, France were able to win themselves the penalty in the scrum a bit earlier on in the game. So perhaps it's not the safer of the 2 options, but it's about to be put in now by Olunisau. Does feed it in. Nice work from Fiji. Sells the dummy. Beautiful run up the middle from Naimasi. Now good offload up to Riwai, the lady who did go to the bin a bit earlier on, finds the offload now to Nagasau actually has got that ball. She sells the dummy. She's just thrown it forward. And that is not what Fiji needed there. What game is next? Is Paul Ustays, and the next game is going to be Fiji versus Samoa for the men's quarterfinal, a massive game. And that one will be starting in 10 minutes' time. Or our live stream will be anyway, 15 minutes away from match kickoff, though. Now, nice tackle made on Nagasau once again. Stolen in the breakdown by Ula Tule. She has really stepped up in the second half for the French. Okimba plays half, goes across to Grassano. 4 minutes on the clock. Chloe Pell now starting to build phases, trying to find the offload. It's risky. They've gone back for the penalty in favour of France, though. They know they are not quite out of the woods. They still need another try to really feel a bit more safe up against Fiji, with only the 4 minutes left on the clock. They're saying complete contrast in the second half compared to what we saw in the first. Last 7 penalties, we've seen 5 of which going against the Fijians. Ula Tule gives it up to Chloe Powell, also having a very good second half. Grassano on the half gives it back to the right-hand side. It's just a simple knock-on there against France. I think that would have been the number 6, Grezes, who just got it wrong. And now because of it, Fiji kept in the game. Another attacking opportunity. They're just inside of their own half. Offloads. We've seen 6 from France compared to the 4 of Fiji. Normally it's the other way around. We normally see a lot more offloads from Fiji. They haven't had a huge amount of possession throughout this matchup either. And also, did you and your mum do any more content? Says Richard there. So we have actually done... we did a little bit more cricket at one point, I believe, since the last time that you may have seen it. I did do a live stream with George yesterday for the NRL, but my mum might be joining me for some of the cricket between South Africa and England at some point in the future. It's going to be a nice run off the back there for Fiji. The penalty goes the way of the Flying Fijians. Once again, Fijiana, what can they do from halfway? Going to be almost a handling error was what they could have done, but it's nice work running forward. That's too risky of an offload, unfortunately, and it's going to be into touch. The line-out's actually going to go the way of Fiji, though. They've said that it wasn't a knock-on, although I think the referee has now said that it will be the scrum in favour of France. The weather is hampering teams like Fiji. Exactly right. Fiji are normally known for their free-flowing running rugby, but with these handling errors that are creeping in every time that it's just a little bit too slippery, it does mean they aren't able to play their complete free running rugby. But then saying that, it is the same for France. Both sides find themselves in the same boat. We've seen 8 handling errors from France so far throughout the match, which is a lot more than they would normally have. Now it's across to that same number 6 who dropped the ball earlier on. It's going to be another handling error, but it has gone backwards this time. Rassano, nice offload mate to Ula Tule. Starting to get the legs pumping. She's gone for the cross kick. It looks like Fiji will have to try and cut this one off. It's just gone into touch. In the end, it was Jasson who wasn't quite able to get to it. I wonder if her parents wanted a boy with the first name Ian. Just a little bit too much speed on that kick, and England got some start today, says a Richard English. And that is, oh yeah, England, they will be going head-to-head with Uruguay in their upcoming match. And then also for the women's side of things, I believe it is going to be the loser of USA versus Canada will find themselves head-to-head with England in the women's quarter-final. But now the throw about to go in by Kavuru. It was relatively straight. It does play on just for now. Fiji need one converted try, and they are back to an even playing field. Naimasi trying to go through once again. It's a brilliant bit of work from the French. Fiji trying to keep this ball alive. It's just going to be very tricky for them. They need to find a gap. Solo Covetti could be the woman to do so, but she's been tackled. It's going to be the penalty to Fiji. Looks like they want to take this quick tap. It is Alunisao. She wasn't on the mark, they said, by half a metre, or at less than that. Now they have taken the mark, and the French defence is set. Back across. It'll be Naimasi. One more on the outside. Here we go. It's a foot race. And it's going to be Okemba trying to cut off the Fijian number 11, the Kothi. She's caught her by the 22. But Riwai goes through, and she'll score the try between the sticks. In fact, it's Naimasi who has been able to score the try for Fiji. They are back in it, and that is about as easy of a conversion as you can get, ladies and gentlemen. It will be 14-all between these two sides. Go Fiji, says Viniana, and also Fiji. And what a try, says Nathan. What a try from Richard as well. Great work by Naimasi. She hurdled the defensive line. And like they're saying, it's a crucial try. It now makes the score 14-all with 20 seconds left on the clock. We could be going to golden point if neither of these sides are able to score here. But Fiji, they will be kicking off to France. They kick it high, and they just kick at the 10, trying to slap it back there. It looks like it's going close to the touchline. It's going to be, a little bit high. The penalty goes the way of Fiji for the high tackle, and it's going to be, is it going to be a yellow card as well? Okay, they're going upstairs. They want to check something here. They want to see how cynical this head shot was. And TMO, and go Fijiana, says Viniana. And go Fiji from Ravind as well. Right, how cynical of a shot was this from Noel? Oh, it's around the neck region. Seatbelt tackle has been called by the commentators. I don't know whether or not I would call it, well, I certainly wouldn't call it a red, but I would consider probably close to a yellow. Maybe, and also no on shoulder, says Richard. And Commonwealth or European, says Fleshin in there. Commonwealth or European, what's that for, Fleshin? I know that we are here for the Cape Town Sevens Rugby World Cup. So there's just a high tackle, so no yellow card there. Fiji, 30 metres out, Naimasi now goes across. Nice bit of work from Nakothi, sorry, and that one has gone down to ground. France have got this ball back inside of their own 22. And Commonwealth, I think, says it Fleshin. They are now back across. Oh, is that for who's going to win this match? Sorry, I've just put it together. So that would be Fiji rather than France. Sorry, my brain was a little bit slow there, wasn't it? Now ball on the outside. It's defend. France are through, and it's going to be their number 6, Grizez. She's had a few mistakes throughout this match, but that is not one of them. She scores, and Fiji have been defeated. France are in tears. That is her first ever try as well, Grazez, for a World Cup. And that is a moment and a half, Fiji. They will be utterly gutted with that one. They were right in it. They made it close, but in the end, France are able to get that pass out wide. It was the big fend. And from there, Grazez scores it. She was almost in tears before she crossed the line. The ref didn't yellow card number 4 France player. Why the ref didn't yellow card, I believe they decided that it was on the shoulder, then it rode up. If it was direct contact to the neck, would have counted as a yellow. But instead, it was just the penalty against the France. But that is going to be the end of this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. In 3 minutes' time, we are going to be back for the match between Samoa and Fiji. It's going to be a massive one. But thank you all very much for being here. And I will see you all